Hey, 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 we're going live today. It's Monday, a gorgeous day here in Montana. We've had lots of smoke, but lots of fun. Hey, Lisa, good to see you all. You guys, as you pop on, go ahead and say hello. Where are you watching us from? Are you loving these episodes? We've got so much to share with you. I'm telling you, this is a limitless well of experience and knowledge that we want to share. And I'm excited to see so many of you joining me for a second round today. I have Wendy coming on as my guest, and or not my guest, we are co-hosts. We're co-hosting this series for entrepreneurs, and here she is. Yep, bringing you on, Wendy. There you are.
I'm here.
Hey, good to see you.
Good morning.
You're looking amazing.
Is it already afternoon? I feel like we should have our cup of tea or cup of coffee and have our morning chat.
I know.
It's been a few days.
I've got my cup of water.
I have my water too, of course.
Yes. So yeah, I was visiting with everyone earlier about wealth building, and I'm going to review for everyone watching a quick outline, and then I'm going to have Wendy share some thoughts on this as well, because she's been on this journey with me for many, many years. But Wendy and I, we are entrepreneurs. We have multiple streams of income. We homeschool our kids. She lives in North Dakota. I live in Montana. We have all the excuses in the world to fail and to blame others for a lack of success. However, we have pushed through and created amazing lives and amazing opportunity for our families. So here's our topic today, which is wealth building. And I don't know about you guys, but I started out on salary as an employee, as a teacher. So everyone, drop a comment below. What is your career? Are you an employee of an institution or something, or are you strictly an entrepreneur? And if you're an entrepreneur, I would love to see how many streams of income have you created, or do you?
Or both.
Right. Let's see. Maybe you do both. Let's find out. We got to get a feeling for where you all are, and see if you can share with us. Are you an employee, an entrepreneur, or both? Now, I've got tips for you, and I hope you'll jot down the notes as I type them. Or sorry, as I share them and you'll type them.
Can you see the comments? Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yes,
can you see?
I love it.
It's so awesome.
I can. I couldn't see them on the last one.
I know. How amazing that people have, look at, literally it's both and multiple and trying to become more. That's awesome.
Yes, so good. So here's what I want to encourage you all to think about. Number one, let's start with an employee, because a lot of people are employees. The majority of Americans are. So what this means is there's this weird cultural norm that's happened in our country, and that is, there's this real distrust of the government, the IRS, their tax bill, blah blah blah. Now I want you to consider this though. Taxes are something that we have to do. It just happens, like life and death. And so having the best knowledge possible, being armed with the best knowledge possible, will equip you to keep your money as best as possible. So number one, if you are an employee, make sure that you take maximum deductions. You do not want the government to keep your money until tax day and you get a big refund and then go buy a new boat. No, that is totally backwards. Don't do that. It doesn't make any sense. You're letting them keep your money instead of you investing it. Let's be serious here. However, there might be that you have a lack of self-control, and so you think, well, I'll just spend the money, so I want the government to keep it and give it back to me on tax day so that then I get to reward myself with some sort of special thing. Bad idea, my friends.
That used to be us. That's how we operated 10
I know.
10,
I had to really whip you in the butt on that one. So here's the thing.
Good thing I'm a good student.
Oh, thank you, goodness. Okay, so here's the thing, you all. Now, if you're an employee, click the share button if you know people who are employees so that they get off of that roller coaster. It's not smart. Also, if you're an employee, consider starting a second stream of income out of your home. You guys, it's practically free to do today. Free. Like network marketing, direct sales, coaching, service-based, whatever, maybe massage therapy, real estate agent, I mean, there's so many different things that you could offer as an additional business that now you get to be considered an entrepreneur, or also known as independent contractor. So this means now you get to do things like write off your cell phone bill, write off 25% of your home, your rent, your mortgage, etc., because that's your home office. You get to have business expenses for when you go out to dinner or when you take a trip, especially when you're talking about your business. And did you know that if you went on a vacation and you had a meeting with somebody while you were on that vacation, you could write off your plane ticket and your meal and lodging expenses for the entire week? I mean, if you're not taking advantage of that right now, you better get educated. And because there you go, that's going to save you huge money and help you think about, how have I been operating up until now, relying on somebody else to show me the way, instead of taking ownership of your money and getting so overwhelmed by taxes that you go into shutdown. Like, come on, that's not going to build wealth. That will not. Wendy, what do you think?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Amber just commented, I feel like tax time is sadly the once a year ticket out of the hole for some people. And that is a mindset.
Totally.
It's just a mindset. It does not have to be that way. And it starts with spending. It starts with your habits. What are you habitually spending your money on? I remember I used to go to Walmart, and when we had no money, and I would go to Walmart and buy a bunch of stuff that I didn't need. And now we go to Walmart like once or twice a year, literally twice, 2 times a year. Otherwise, we order what we need online, have it delivered to our front door, because number one, time, it saves time. And number two, when I am shopping on the internet, I am specifically purchasing what I need. I am not aimlessly walking through the aisles grabbing stuff that I don't need. How many of you, let's ask this, how many of you go shopping and you end up at the checkout and you go, wow, I came for 2 things and my cart's full? That is a red flag. That is a red flag of habitually spending your money on things that are not necessary.
Can we also go a little deeper on that?
Please.
And I'm going to ask you a question. When you were in that, I don't know how to phrase it, that time frame. When you were in that time frame of going to Walmart and buying a bunch of, let's just call it crap, because that's what it is. Buying a bunch of crap.
Yes.
Would you say that you got some sort of benefit from doing it?
Yeah. So, well, yes and no. Like here's the interesting point is we get a high off of purchasing something, bringing it home. But as soon as it didn't click for me until I read in a book somewhere, I don't even know what book it was, but it seriously made such a drastic difference in my life. And it basically stated that once you get those items home into your house and you bring those shopping bags in and you set them on your floor, like that high is completely gone. And so it's not fulfilling, and it's never ending. So then you completely want to go back and do it all over again. So that's why people get stuck in this trap of constantly going to Walmart or Target or Costco or wherever and just buying mindless stuff that you do not need. Because then the minute you get it home, that high is gone. And then guess what? You have to go buy more crap to store the crap that you just bought. And then it starts this whole chaotic, because I discovered that the more stuff I had surrounding us, the more chaotic I felt. So we started this huge mission of simplifying our life. And I mean, it started many, many years ago, but like we really just like cut the artery when we moved out of our house. And we literally, it was going to Salvation Army. We were giving it away. We were throwing it or we kept it. And it is absolutely amazing how little amount of stuff we need to survive.
Oh, fascinating. And I will share with you all that psychologically, here's what's like physically happening in the brain when you are purchasing needless items. Like you're just, it's something that's very spur of the moment. And like Laura said, it's like emotional eating. You get a dopamine rush, and you start to form neural pathways, grooves in the brain that are benefiting from this dopamine rush every time you go shopping and you're buying this junk that you don't really need. And here's the thing, if you start to think of your time as money, you realize that you're trading your time that you're shopping to buy the stuff that's such a good buy. It's so cute and it's adorable, and right? And so you're just buying it. You're actually trading your time and your money, because you're spending time in the store and then you're spending your money on that stuff. So what I want you to do is start to do the math. I always have, when I'm coaching clients, I'm always reminding them, get into reality and do the math. Know your numbers. Know how much time you must trade working to spend $100, $200 at Costco. Know that number. And also consider the taxes and the expenses. So you're probably working quite a few hours for that, unless you've already hit the momentum. So think about this though. If you have not created about $100,000 in liquid assets in your life that you have access to today, then going to Target, Walmart, Costco, and that is simply a distraction from either facing something that is emotional for you or having some story in your head about why you need something. And instead of investing that time and money in yourself and going deeper and creating the freedom that you desire and that you talk about wanting in your life and that you keep self-sabotaging, and this is just one of those ways, then you got to become very clear where you're doing that, where are you self-sabotaging, how can you change that habit, what can you replace it with. And like I was sharing on my previous live stream was, I use waiting and car time for education, personal education. So I'm going to be doing audiobooks or podcasts, something that's going to be making me think differently, putting me into arenas with new people, building my network with new people, right? And so this is going to help me to think differently and create the freedom that I desire as a result. Wendy?
Yeah. Well, and it brings me back to many years ago when I did a Bible study with Beth Moore, and she talked about strengthening the muscle to say no when you really want to say yes. And now I have even noticed a shift now that we are in a part of our life where we can say yes and still practicing that muscle to say no. For example, we were antique shopping. We both love shopping for vintage antiques, and I found this super adorable, cute bowl, right? I could have purchased it. I have room in my kitchen, not a problem, could have brought it home. But instead, in that moment, I looked at its beauty. I thought it was gorgeous. I could have taken it home if I wanted to, but I chose not to, because I chose to practice saying no even when I can say yes. And that's powerful. It's powerful when you realize that that's not where your happiness comes from. Your happiness does not come from the clothes that we have on our body or the things that we have in our home or what we drive. It all turns to dust, literally. And I love where it says biblically that it just collects dust, literally. It collects dust and becomes old. And I always think of like the saying, like, you can't take a suitcase with you, right? Like, you never see a U-Haul behind a funeral home coach. So, like, really and honestly, like, it's all temporary. Yes. It's all temporary. Yeah. So instead of that, we focus on putting the podcast on, listening to the Audible book, watching or listening to or reading another book. Like, you can never be done learning and growing and constantly moving yourself forward, because materialistic things, just like I said, collect dust and rot and go bad.
Totally. In fact, when we were back in the day of me just starting my entrepreneurial journey, we were on public assistance. I had 2 babies. My big deal was, I'm going to go shop at Salvation Army, right? Go find the treasure, go find the deal. Like, that was my big woohoo. And here's the crazy thing though. I would tell my coach, she would say, you should be reading this book. I'm like, I can't afford a $10 book. But yet, I'm going to go shop at the secondhand store and find some treasures, and I'll probably spend $30 on what, right? Do you see how we have to get into reality and create the awareness and take ownership for the lives that we've created? And that when we're not happy, like I saw somebody earlier say, I work all the time and I'm making no money. When we're not happy, we need to get into reality and ask ourselves, what how have I been thinking and acting that has created this life today? If I don't like it, I have the choice to change it. I have the power of decision within me. And that is a gift that all of us have. We have the power of decision within us, which we can access at any time. And if you say that you are low energy, you lack the energy, you don't have the time, there again is another story that you are subscribing to that's going to keep you in the box and keep you small and keep you blaming other circumstances rather than taking ownership. So I always advise my clients as they start building their businesses to adopt what I call the pioneering spirit. And if you haven't read anything in the past about the Western expansion and what it took to travel thousands of miles on foot with a wagon train of all of your personal belongings in that wagon that was either pulled by an ox or maybe a horse, and you're literally forging the river. There's no bridges. Think about this. Think about this. Your child gets sick. There's no doctor. Like, you're literally, you must adopt this sort of pioneering spirit. And the comfort today is I would say it's our number one killer of dreams, of opportunity, of your ability to create something phenomenal that you probably can't even comprehend yet because you're so comfortable, right? And you're so distracted and you're not like literally tapping into what it takes to create your own reality because you're just comfortable. You're not required to figure things out. You're not required to think of a better way because you're comfortable. Wendy?
Yeah. Well, we know where every single meal is coming from. Like, we have a bed to sleep in. Like, we're not worried that, like, oh, our roof is going to fly off, so we better get to work. Right. You know, it's just, we live in a day and age that it's actually very dangerous because we are so comfortable because we know every single meal we're going to not have enough food, but more than enough to the point that most of our society is now obese, which has just created a whole nother of unhealthiness and laziness.
A whole nother episode we could go into about how it's affecting your hormones.
Yes. Oh my gosh, totally. And it's just a place of comfort is actually a very dangerous place to be. And what I have found in my life, in my cycles, or like the cycles and seasons of my life, are that what used to be outside my comfort zone that I pushed myself through to get to, then have become a comfort. So it's you're constantly growing, and your comfort zone is constantly getting larger and larger. In every new season of your life, you have a new thing to step into that is out of your comfort zone. So it's just never ending.
Absolutely. And also, let's talk for a moment about how you can create energy within, because this is probably one of the big pieces that I hear from people who they're just comfortable, right? They're not truly willing to step into their entrepreneurial calling, but they have this little sense of it, this little spark. And so, but then they keep putting themselves back into a box of failure because it's not perfect and they're afraid to fail, right? And then they're too tired and they're burnt out because they're doing 9 million different things that are really wasting their time rather than creating what they set out to create. I mean, how many of you are entrepreneurs who say you desire this life of freedom, but you're not getting there? So we got to go deep with, do you believe it? And what are your thought patterns? And are you taking consistent, inspired action? Now, inspired action literally means you are tapping into what God has placed upon your heart to create in this world, and you're getting your ego out of the way. And then you're taking action accordingly, right? Now, energy, think about the energy that you have in the body. Like I shared earlier today, Wendy and I were like, well, let's not do the live stream. I was exhausted. I had something go wrong last night, and I didn't feel like doing anything, right? I didn't feel like it. But I had to tap into that pioneering spirit and say, what would that woman do? She would show up anyway. She would find the energy anyway. I mean, I'm looking at myself on this video. It's like you're talking to yourself in a mirror, right? And I'm like, gosh, I look lit up and inspired right now. Well, the truth is I am, because I know how to access that energy within myself and get myself out of the ruts and back up on top of the mountain, right? And if you feel like you're lacking energy, probably what it means is you've closed your heart. You're shutting down that inspiration, right? That inspirational piece. And you're getting derailed by these little distractions that are all around us. Let's be honest. Doesn't matter what level of success you're at. Wendy?
Oh yeah,
totally. Yeah. I know, right?
I think one of the things that I immediately implement is practicing gratitude, because I get so overwhelmed with joy when I practice gratitude. And we're talking for the littlest things, because you could have everything going wrong in your day, in your week, your month, your life. But guess what? I'm betting you have a bed to sleep in, and you have blankets, and you have food in your fridge, even if maybe it doesn't make a whole meal. It's something, right?
And if you're watching the video, you've got a smartphone or a laptop, which is more than the majority of the world population has access to. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. So I find that, like, if you can even pick 5 things or 10 things to really truly say that you're grateful for, and like push for every once in a while, push for 100, because that in itself is going to push you to really search. And then pretty soon your complaining is going to go to the wayside, because really, if we're honest, we have nothing to be complaining about.
Nothing. No. And I have something to read to you all that I think will really help you grasp what we're talking about when we talk about this energy, because you can access it anytime, anywhere. It's not from food. It's not from sleep. It is literally burning within you. And the only reason you don't feel this energy all the time is because you block it. You block it by closing your heart, your mind, and pulling yourself into that small, restrictive space within. I call that shrinking, or putting yourself back into the box, right? The box is what other people in society have put you in, that you now believe is where you operate best, right? That's the box. No, it's not for you. And this closes
you off. That's playing small.
Exactly. It's playing small. So this closes you off from all of the energy. When you close your heart, you close your mind, you will hide within the darkness. There is no light, no energy, nothing is flowing, and the energy is still there, but you can't access it. And this is called being blocked. So have you ever felt that way, where you're like, you have this idea, but yet you are just shut down and you're feeling blocked? So that literally is a result of you allowing yourself to go back there and get small again, right? Instead of expansive thinking, expansive being, expansive feeling. And literally you can see it by the way you're carrying your shoulders. If you're starting to feel blocked, Ashley, share with us, what is your body posture like? Like, how much movement are you creating in your day? Are you dancing around, have a dance party, working out, going for a walk, a hike, getting into nature, special time with your partner, whatever it is? Like, what's your physical body doing to represent feeling blocked and low energy? Because that's one of our tricks here. Once you know that you have this energy burning inside of you all of the time, and you can access it anytime, all you need to do is figure out what your tools are to access that energy, and you can start to cultivate that within you. It becomes a habit that you can access that energy at any time by doing some of those things physically that I just shared. And one of them that's really helpful is to do the victory pose, where you stand in front of a mirror and you smile, and you do your positive affirmations. Your hands are up, right? Do this with us, you guys, if you can. And what happens, you will notice, is you will start to breathe more deeply, which your body needs the oxygen, because you breathe shallow when you're tight, restrictive, and blocked. You will breathe more deeply, your arms will be up, and your body literally will flood with the positive hormones, and will reduce the stress hormones in the body, okay? When your body starts to work again in concert with your mind and your spirit, mind, body, spirit, then you can get back into what I call the zone. And the zone is that zone of genius, where you can access that calling and take inspired action. These are some of the tricks that we use. Wendy, do you have any to add?
And we just all have this zone of genius. We all do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not just like a select few who were born special.
No.
We all, every single person has that opportunity to tap into this zone of genius and operate like this on a daily basis and make it a habit.
Mm-hmm. So we want you to become aware of that. This week, How are you accessing the energy? How are you getting out of being stuck or blocked? How are you getting back into the zone where you're literally taking the inspired right action to build towards your dreams? And this is what it takes as an entrepreneur, like it or not.
And maybe just even a big step this week would be to just have the awareness.
Yeah.
Have the awareness around, okay, I'm actually felt really great this morning and now I don't. So there clearly was a shift in my energy level. Why is that? What happened? I mean, even just taking a step back to have that awareness of that something did change, instead of, going to bed and going, man, having like the most of your day be awesome, but then like the last hour, not so awesome. And then you go, my day was awful. Like, instead of being like so just chaotic and all over the place, having that awareness of, okay, this morning this happened, I felt this way. Now this afternoon this happened, and then I actually started feeling this way. How could I change that? And then you could implement some of the things that Elise just shared, because it's very powerful when you start seeing patterns in your day.
Yeah.
Because you start seeing patterns in your life, which will then ultimately change your focus. It's going to change what you focus on. And then guess what? What you focus on changes.
So, and I'll be honest, before I learned these tricks, I mean, literally, like, before I learned how to access this energy, I probably spent the majority of my time feeling pretty blah. Like, I wasn't very inspired. I was still successful, but I wasn't very inspired. I was getting by. I was comfortable. And that was not the place that I was meant to create from. That was the place that had to be the springboard. I had to get so uncomfortable first to spring into what I was meant to be doing. And sometimes I see this with the entrepreneurs we work with. They are just so resistant to even trying and putting themselves out there that they get super stuck. And then I tell them, you know what? We're not going to break through this unless you are so sick and tired of that this becomes a must. It absolutely must become a must, a non-negotiable that you are so committed to and so passionate about that's where that energy will come from. And you will always have access to this energy. You just need to make a decision that you will go there, access it, and springboard to the next level. Because otherwise you'll continue to drift along and be like blah, 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 and this and that, and wah, 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 and gossip, gossip, mud, mud, mud. And that's not going to create the freedom that you desire. That's going to keep you feeling pretty blah. And I don't want you looking over your life feeling blah about it. I know, Wendy, you don't either, because we've both gone from that to just being like, whoo. And yeah, Ashley, we understand that. Being underwater, all we want is the breath, but not until we need to. Absolutely. That's kind of like being in debt. You're in debt, you're drowning, feels like you're drowning, it feels like there's no way out. But when you start to make a plan to access the freedom, you'll start to receive the inspired downloads. You'll receive what is my next best step, the inspired action to take. And then you will be so committed to the way that the freedom feels, right? With your shoulders are back. It's regal feeling. It's like you've got the ability to call the shots. You're not reading every single price in the grocery store, but now you're like, what's best for my family? And what's the best nonprofit I need to support next? And you'll be praying about that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, praying about what it is that is your next best step, I think is one of the best actions an inspired entrepreneur can take. What do you think?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I think just like asking God, how would you like me to show up in this area? Like, what would you like me to accomplish or conquer in this area, or over here in this department? Or what is it that you would like me to do? Or what, I always used to just pray, show me how you want me to make an impact. Because I just always believe that God is going to put in front of us what it is that he 100%. Wants us to use to further his kingdom here on earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Phenomenal. In fact, that brings up verse I need to access right now. Which of course I need to look up because I can never remember them, but
which one is it?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Oh,
I have it on my computer. What?
Because I always just remind myself, we are called to be the light on the hill.
Yes, we are. I know you probably already know this one. Everyone watching probably knows it. They're like, what is it? Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, it's Proverbs 31:25.
Oh.
You're like, what does it say? You know it.
Well, no, you say, but Proverbs 31 is obviously very well known for being the...
Yes. She is clothed with strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. Because the truth is, will you type that into the comments, you all? She is clothed with strength and dignity and laughs without fear of the future. That's Proverbs 31:25. And now here's the thing. The reason that this verse is so powerful, I believe, is that there's also a promise in the verse, right? You have nothing to fear for your future. And you can be happy in this moment because you have the strength and dignity now. It is already there within you. Just access it and make the decision that you will not be afraid for the future because you have what it takes in this moment. So all you need to do is get the clutter and the junk out of the way and pull yourself up out of the mud. Take a deep breath, laugh, and move forward. Because that is what it takes as an entrepreneur who is inspired today in creating impact in the world that she's meant to create. Any reflections on that too? Hey,
that's the Proverbs 31 woman.
That is indeed. So,
and she laughs without fear of the future. And then towards the end of that, doesn't it say, and her children arise and call her blessed?
Yes.
I always giggle at that one because my children wake up and need help with every little thing, right?
So good. Hey, Trapper. So we hope you've enjoyed today. We wanted to share with you all that if you have the desire, if you're a coach and you have the desire to create your program that is going to create some wealth in your future, then please join us in the Spirited Woman group. That's thespiritedwomangroup.com. We'll put the link in the comments and learn more about that because I'm telling you what, we have 3 spots remaining. 30 women are joining and we launch. This is prep week this week. And next week is week 1. It's an 8-week boot camp. And yeah, we're very excited to invite you to join us if it's a fit. And we do interview those who apply to make sure that it's a good fit for you and your business. But we're very passionate about helping women who are called to coach and inspire, uplift, mentor other women. And so that is what this boot camp is all about. Wendy, do you have anything to share on that?
Oh, it's just really exciting. We're just thrilled to get to work with these women one-on-one and help them expand where they are currently in their lives. And it is a blessing to be able to do this. And it's just, both Elise and I feel that it's our life's calling and our purpose to help empower women and inspire them and motivate them and equip them. So we're just super excited. It's awesome.
So cool. And it's just not all about the systems, the business and the sales, but there's this spiritual, deeper component as well. Because a lot of the women that we work with, that we've very successfully helped them launch group programs, they have been blocked in the doing. Like they're not taking the inspired action. They get caught up in the perfectionism. They get very confused by what they're offering and how to get it out there into the world. And
let's just go back to being confused about that they even have something to offer.
Oh, totally.
So true.
So true. So true. Yeah. So anyway, we work through these components. Everyone's such an individual that we're very because we do this together, we're able to really dive in with each person and help them uncover what it is that is their gift, that is their block, that is going to be their package and of their coaching package that will really help others. So if that calls to you, you know where to find us. All right. Yes. We love you all, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great Monday. Bye-bye.